You've been a proud conservative for as long as you can remember, and while you didn't always agree with everything the Republican Party did, you always trusted they would protect family values and the lives of innocent children. Under President Trump, tens of thousands of children have been forcibly taken from their own parents. Thousands of children are missing and can't even be accounted for. The situation is so bad that a federal judge wrote, "The unfortunate reality is that under the present system, children are not accounted for with the same efficiency and accuracy as property. They're taking children away from their parents for the equivalent of a traffic ticket. Without any authority to do that, the child is taken by force." And you're stuck with this. Attorney General Jeff Sessions. "And that child may be separated from you. It's not our fault."
I will be separated from you probably as required by law. If you don't want your child to be separated, then don't bring them across the border illegally. It's not our fault.
Your values haven't changed. Your parties have. And this year, so should your vote. Because it's time to stop defending the indefensible. That's why the United States Criminal Tribunal against Child Kidnapping, USCTACK, is endorsing Dennis Diaz for president. He understands the dangers facing our children from lawless politicians and judges who don't care about anything more than getting publicity and dodging responsibility. USCTACK and its partner, the International Criminal Court Against Child Kidnapping in The Hague, the Netherlands, are participating in a global fight to end impunity for parental and governmental child kidnappers. And through national and international criminal justice, the court aims to hold those responsible accountable for their crimes against children and crimes against humanity. Our work includes action to enforce international laws and treaties against parental child kidnappers and human rights abusers. The court's founding treaty, called the United Nations Convention for the Protection of the Rights of the Child, which has been signed by 196 nations across the world, grants the USCTACK and the ICCACK jurisdiction over crimes against children to prevent and/or eliminate such crimes completely. Every year, 10 million children are kidnapped around the world, and most governments are unable or unwilling to solve this serious global problem that affects everyone. When left behind parents and their offspring have been mistreated by corrupt government officials, it's time to restore their human rights. We fight for left behind parents and their wrongfully retained children with international laws, treaties, and combined legal strategies. We only act in your child's best interest and make this always our top priority to restore their human rights, reunite the left behind parents with their children by enforcing international laws and treaties to hold all bad actors accountable. USCTACK and the ICCACK aims to hold those responsible accountable for their crimes against children and crimes against humanity. Our work includes efforts to enforce international laws and treaties against parental child kidnappers and human rights abusers. We are an international court which acts as the last resort for the prosecution of the crime of parental or governmental child kidnapping. In the USA, each year, thousands of children are being kidnapped or taken unlawfully from their parents, often on little no more than whims of crooked CPS workers who don't follow the law or even know the constitutionally protected rights of parents. Even worse, tens of thousands of children in the US are kidnapped by a parent each year and smuggled outside of the country. But what's even more shocking is the fact that 200,000 children are being kidnapped by parents and brought into the USA. However, the FBI will not prosecute incoming parental child kidnappers because there's no law to cover these heinous crimes against innocent children. According to the FBI website and their own statements, they only go after outgoing parental child kidnappers, which leaves the victimized and left behind parent of parental child kidnapping in total limbo. He or she will receive absolutely no government or FBI support to have the wrongfully retained and kidnapped incoming child returned to his legal domicile. Under these legal loopholes and lack of enforcement of the laws by every authority, the United States is a paradise for parental child kidnappers, as they face absolutely zero criminal prosecutions for their heinous crimes. Moreover, the DOJ, FBI, ICE, DHS, and every other authority is looking conveniently the other way. And lawless sanctuary city judges even help the child kidnapping parent to further conceal and wrongfully retain the kidnapped child legally in the US. The USCTACK and its partner, the International Criminal Court against Child Kidnapping in The Hague, the Netherlands, are dedicated to helping protect all children and parents by making governments around the world adhere to international laws and treaties. The US, as a signatory of the 1980 Hague Convention on the civil aspects of international child abduction, has always been a leader of these efforts, but has failed terribly to protect innocent children from the harmful effects of parental child kidnapping. That's why we had such high hopes when President Donald Trump took office. We wrote several letters to the White House and the Department of Justice asking his administration for help on particular child abduction cases and to publicize the need to combat and fix this horrible situation. Instead, Trump did what he always does: talk a good game and do absolutely nothing to save innocent children from these abusive crimes. Instead, Security Advisor John Bolton in an official speech threatened ICC judges and ICC prosecutors, and President Donald J. Trump announced in an executive order and an international press conference, "We will respond against the ICC and its personnel to the extent permitted by US law. We'll ban its judges and prosecutors from entering the United States. We will sanction their funds in the US financial system, and we will prosecute them in the US criminal system. We'll do the same for any company or state that assists an ICC investigation of Americans." In other words, Trump and Bolton declared to protect criminals who flee into the United States, but they'll arrest ICC judges who follow the rule of law. Can it be any more sickening than this? Like so many, we were fooled by Trump, the New York City con man. No more. A man who does not protect family values and has a proven track record in failing to protect innocent children does not deserve to be re-elected as president. Dennis Diaz and the Diaz Task Force backs up what he says and has dedicated his life and career of helping the plight of children separated by families. That's why the United States Criminal Tribunal against Child Kidnapping is so proud and happy to endorse Dennis Diaz to be the next President of the United States of America. A man with true integrity and the right moral fibre to help end the family court destruction of family values, honour, and to protect and enforce the constitutionally protected rights of parents, which are abused by lawless family court judges every day across the USA. Dennis Diaz will stop the abduction of 200,000 wrongfully retained incoming children every year, and he will hold all bad actors liable under criminal and civil laws to ensure that America restores its family values, and ensure judges follow the constitutionally protected rule of law. If you believe in these family values and you want to protect your children from future harm, then you must vote for Dennis Diaz. Your children will thank you for it.
I'm Dennis A. Diaz. I'm running for President of the United States, and I approve this message.